So SoundCore's been busy. Maybe they saw our initial SoundCore Space One Pro review. So today we're gonna answer some of the questions you guys had since the release. Let's go. Namaste, we're DHRME, die-hard ramen and macaroni eaters. I do kind of like both. All right, let's talk about the new hard case. So just a quick recap on the case situation. You do get a soft pouch for free in the box, but as you can imagine, a soft pouch can only do so much in terms of protection. But for early orders, you could get the bra case for free. Now, we had a lot of issues with this case, but go see the full review for more on that. But now SoundCore updated their proposition. If you place an early order, you can choose between the bra case and a normal hard case. Please do yourself a favor and get the normal hard case. It will actually protect your headphones, and there's a mesh to store your cables. Better late than never, I guess. Just a shame SoundCore didn't go with this in the first place. Then what's with the bad phone call quality? Well, that was another major issue we all saw and couldn't believe how bad the phone calls were. A lot of you commented and asked us to test it with side tone turned off. We did that. But before we show you the results, let's all take a moment to understand that side tone, or self voice as some brands call it, isn't new. For example, the Bose had it for a long time. Hear the difference for yourself. Okay, so this is a mic test on the SoundCore Space One Pro with side tone turned on and parsing in the background. Popsicle, size bicycle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Popsicle, size. Testing. Now, this is the same test, but with side tone turned off. Popsicle, icicle, testing. 1, 2, 3. Popsicle, icicle, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is a mic test on the Bose QC Ultra with side tone on max with cars in the background. Popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. And this is again a test on the Bose, but with side tone turned off. Popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Alright, this is a windy test on the SoundCore Space One Pro with side tone popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Test. And now we need test with the SoundCore, but the side tone is turned off. Icicle, 1, 2, 3. Test. And this is a windy test on the Bose QC Ultra with side tone turned on max. Alright, popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. It is a windy day. Now it's the Bose with the side tone turned off. Popsicle, icicle, testing, 1, 2, 3. Popsicle, icicle, testing. It is night and day for the Space One Pro in noisy conditions. So turning off side tone made a difference. Unbelievable. In windy conditions though, we couldn't tell a difference. They're still quite bad. But what about the Bose? You could pretty much say they perform the same irrespective of the side tone setting. And that's what you would expect. So we think SoundCore didn't test the microphones correctly, and they hopefully should be able to fix this with a firmware update. Fingers crossed, because we know how many of you were disappointed in the calls as we were.
Now the third thing a lot of you guys are talking about is sponsored reviews. There's this one comment saying, I love how you two do reviews. You don't hold back and let us know what to really expect with the product. And another one from Chatham 117 says, another reason to appreciate your non-sponsored reviews. Listen to a review earlier which was sponsored. What a difference. You both do an amazing job. Now, I just want to kind of come to the defense of some of our colleagues, if you will, in this space. YouTube is a hard life. there's a lot of running around with deadlines. You try to get everything right. There's a lot of work, and people don't realize that it's not exactly a lot of money unless you're, the top YouTubers in the world. So we do need to accept sponsorships from companies. Now, our policy in particular is when we are sponsored by a company, it's not going to be a review. We will not name it a review, but label it as such. But other creators might not do that, and they might have different policies, which is fine. I don't want to get into this thing where somebody is doing a review and that video is sponsored and we are calling it bad, or that is not what we do here. We are fully behind our creator, colleagues, but it's just not what we do. If we are sponsored, we will not call it a review. Just to be clear on that, please don't go and throw hate on other YouTube channels and people we genuinely enjoy and get a lot of good information from. But yes, this was not a sponsored review, and let's leave it at that. Now, point number 4, these play in a very interesting kind of price point, $200. And that's one of the disappointing things, I think, for us is SoundCore is slowly inching up towards that price, and they could do that, no problem. They've done excellent with ANC and transparency. I just wish that they do a bit more with sound going forward, because as James W2831 says, I think it is insane how the Sony Ultware with no alt mode has a better sound signature. I've also tweaked my Ultware and they sound amazing. And yes, if you do look at the sound signatures, it's very similar if you at first glance, but then you see the Space One Pro, it has kind of the dip in this upper mid space or lower mids, let's say, and that actually loses a lot of presence for vocals and things like that. And one thing I always kind of complain about on SoundCore products is their kind of treble, and you can clearly see the difference here. This kind of 6K peak that they have, it sounds a bit shrill and a bit harsh, let's say, with many tracks, and I find it difficult to tame with EQ especially. So I definitely agree with James here. It's insane how the Sony Ultware, which is marketed as a bass, focus headphones, actually are very good normal headphones as well, and we said so in our review.
And a big thanks to our patrons and YouTube members for your support, and a special thanks to our highest tier, the Fuckman tier, and especially to Gamma Panda and Paula. Thank you guys very, very much. You've been watching this space like a pro, and we've been DHRME. Dewey.